It's not like I'm a golfer. What am I not here for? Oh. Ding.
Good morning. Welcome to the United States Sport Academy and our weekly sports talk program. With me today is Dr. Fred Carmarty, our Director of Doctoral Studies, and Dr. Brett Somacher, our Chair of Sports Coaching. I'm Steve Butler, your host today, and today we're going to talk a little bit about the British Open that was played last week, and we're going to talk about kind of the state of golf in general as we weave it into the conversation about the British Open. Behind the camera, as always, is our wonderful producer, Sarah. And if you have any questions, you can just type them in, and Sarah will ask them as we go. Well, guys, I know the three of us got up early on Sunday morning to watch the last round, and as it turned out, it certainly was worth getting up early for.
It was well worth it. It was one of the better final Sundays in a long, long time. But just to go back a little bit or move forward, so to speak, in regards to golf, golf's kind of taken a little bit of a beating as of late in the media, because a lot of people are coming down on a lot of the golfers that have decided that they are not going to compete in the Rio 2016 Olympiad, and especially Roy McIlroy. And I think that's a little bit unfair. I think these golfers have every legitimate right to make decisions for their own personal health and safety based on the amount of problems that are transpiring right now in this upcoming Olympiad. So I don't besmirch any of them. I think that, they are perfectly capable of deciding where they want to compete and when they want to compete, and it's their decision. You
made a great point, because I could probably win the NBA championship next year with the NBA players who have chosen not to go to the Olympics.
Yeah, exactly.
And nobody's talking about them. Brad, what did you think of the last round of the British Open?
Well, it may go down as probably maybe one of the best final rounds ever in a major tournament between two guys. It was a two-horse race from Saturday, from pretty much from Friday on. Phil comes out of the gate, shoots a 63 on Thursday, and then everybody else is trying to catch him. Stenson really was the only one within range going into Saturday, and then both of them kind of went ahead of everybody else while they're all dropping back. But it's probably it was like a prize fight.
Well, it just goes to show you, like you said, you come out of the gate shooting 63. Now, everybody says you can't win on Thursday, but you can sure put yourself in a place to be there on Sunday. And that's exactly what he did. But who ever would have imagined that Stenson would come out and shoot a 63 to win it on Sunday?
Well, Phil shot a 65.
Yeah, I know.
Phil shot a 65 on Sunday.
Hey, again,
and lost by 3.
and it goes to what I said. The guy is the champion of seconds.
If we could have gone into a betting parlor on Sunday morning and found a bet that Phil Mickelson will shoot 65 and not win, I think there would have been a lot of people that would have taken that bet.
Sure.
A lot of people that they did it on TV all day Sunday. A lot of people compared this to what happened in Turnberry in 1977. That's been called the duel in the sun between Jack Nicklaus and Tom Watson. And if you look at the numbers, there really is a remarkable similarity. In 1977 in Turnberry, Watson and Nicklaus both shot 68, 70, 65 the first 3 days, identical scores the first 3 days, and they also played together on Saturday and Sunday. Mm-hmm. And then they played together on Friday and Saturday, because if you remember back in those days, the last day of the British Open was on Saturday. They played Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday up until a few years ago. But on Sunday, Watson shot 65 and Nicklaus shot 66, and he ended up winning by 1. But if you look at the weekend, Friday, Saturday, in those days, when they called it duel in the sun, Watson shot 65, and Nicklaus shot 65-66. This week, as you talked about, Brett talked about Phil starting with 63. Stinson had 68 on Friday, or on Thursday. Then on Friday, he had 65 to Phil's 69, so he was one behind, and they played together on weekend. On Saturday, Stinson had 68, Phil had 70, and then on Sunday, of course, the miraculous 63 and 65. Another interesting thing, you talked about it being a two-man race. Back in '77, Lou Graham finished third, and he was 10 strokes behind. In third, he was one under par. They also set a record this past week, they set a record for the largest number of strokes between second and third of the major, which was 11. And I went back and looked at and compared the scorecards, because they made the comment on TV, that it really was match play. And after 16 holes, they made the comment that, at that time, Stinson was by one stroke, and he was one up if you did it match play wise. And in both of those tournaments, if it would have been match play, Watson would have beat Nicklaus 2-1, and Stinson would have beat Mickelson 2-1. So even if it was match play, they would have been really close matches. I think it was over when he made the 51-footer for birdie on that from the fringe.
Yeah.
Because they were talking about he had three-putted twice earlier in the day, and right before he hit the putt, one of the announcers said his line has been perfect all day. The only thing is he three-putted twice. So you forget the only two bogeys he had 10.
He started the round off with a bogey.
With a bogey, yep.
He had 10 birdies, and his only two bogeys were three putts. So, I think it was Roger Maltby who was walking with him all day when he was getting ready to hit that second shot from 152 yards in 18. He said he has not missed the center of the club face all day long. And we think back, they talk about sport. A lot of sports being a game of inches. I cannot believe that ball stopped from going into the bunker on his tee shot on 18.
Oh, yeah.
It kind of reminded me of
A little bit of luck.
Back in the early 80s, Freddie Couples hit one on number 12 at Augusta. It was rolling down the hill. There's no way that ball's not going in the water. It just came to a screeching halt on a hill about like this. And you know how tightly mowed those hills are at Augusta. But for some reason, that ball stopped. Freddie got up and down for par and won the Masters. And the same thing. That ball, for all intents and purposes, was going in the bunker. And
who knows what happens if it goes in the bunker?
If it goes in the bunker, basically the best he can make is five.
Yeah.
So and he ended up making a birdie, but it was a great Sunday of golf.
But it was a steady round of golf from both of them straight out of the gate.
Yeah.
Let's not forget too, Phil came within inches of shooting 62.
On day one.
Exactly.
Yeah. And even Johnny Miller, who was last person to shoot 63 in the final round, he happened to be in the booth in the tower on 18 this week. He did it in 73, so it's been 43 years since somebody shot a 63 on Sunday, and I think there's been 21 of them in major tournament history, 63s. He even said that Stinson could have easily made that putt on 17. It was about a 5-footer that he just barely missed. So that's a great thing about golf, and any round you can go back and pick a couple places where heck, if he doesn't three putt twice, he shoots 61.
Yeah.
So if he just two putts those two greens, it's all pretty cool. Some of the records that came out of this, Henrik Stenson's score of 264 was the lowest ever by number. His score of -20 was tied for the best ever with Jason Day. This is not just the British Open. This is in all major tournaments. Tiger that one year when he went ballistic at St. Andrews ended up 19 under. So that's 20 under is the record for the British Open. And we already talked about the 63 tying Johnny Miller's. Johnny Miller was I read an article once, and I think it was Sport Magazine. Remember, Sport Magazine used to be like a actual rival to Sports Illustrated. Sports Illustrated kind of blew them away, and they no longer exist. But there's an article in Sport Magazine. Johnny Miller's always said one of his goals was to be way ahead and have like a 2-footer for par on the 18th hole and have like a 6-stroke lead and take out his 3-wood and just rip it over the clubhouse. Just see how far you can hit it and then say, because if you hit a ball out of bounds, you can always go back to where you put his ball back down and tap it in for par, take his double bogey and win the tournament. So I thought that was pretty cool. But he does a great job in the booth. And I honestly felt through the TV that he was rooting for Stinson to shoot 63.
I think everybody was though,
Yeah.
really. I mean, it could have gone either way, but then when it actually panned out on 17, that it was gonna go Stinson's way. That's when you saw people were like pretty favorable.
And even Phil said, afterwards, he said he's been a good friend of mine for a long time, and if I couldn't win, I was glad he did. And talk about Phil being the king of second. That's 11 second place finishes for Mickelson in the major tournaments, and that's second only to Nicklaus's 19. They talk all the time about Nicklaus's 18 major championships, but 19 seconds is pretty impressive as well. Phil Mickelson was one of the years he won the Masters. I lived in Augusta for 5 years. And one of the years he won the Masters, right after the Masters, he went to Krispy Kreme. And he went through the drive-through.
In his jacket.
Yeah, in his green jacket. And one of the lady in the thing took a picture. And he waved and smiled and signed some stuff for her and everything. But I guess his PR people got all upset when she posted the picture on Facebook and made her take it down.
Well, because they didn't get a chance to control it.
Yeah.
But see, at that particular juncture, I don't see what I wouldn't have listened to them.
I wouldn't either.
I posted up there and I left it. Good luck. You want to buy it? Buy
it. Fred mentioned earlier about and we kind of talked a little bit about Tiger. They just made the announcement yesterday that he officially withdrew from the PGA Championship, and his agent said that he's not going to play any more. He's not going to play any competitive golf this year. And one of the things I read last night was the last time that Tiger Woods went an entire year without playing in a PGA tournament, he was 15.
Yeah.
And it was like
1995, something like that.
Yeah, he was 15 years old. And one of the questions Bob Herrig is the senior PGA writer for ESPN. One of the questions they asked him last night on SportsCenter was, does Tiger Woods need golf more, or does golf need Tiger Woods more? And his answer was really pretty good. He said it's kind of both. He said at this point Tiger needs golf, but golf also needs Tiger because I think golf's in great shape with the young guys, with Jason Day and Rory McIlroy and Jordan Spieth and Dustin Johnson. Those guys are all under 30. I think Jason Day is 30, but golf's in great shape, but Tiger still moves the needle. And when he's
Tiger moved the needle because of the uniqueness that he brought to the table. I mean, you look at him; he's 3-4 years old. He's on the Bob Hope show, Button and Bob and all those guys are going crazy, and you watch him every step of the way. We don't have golfers like that anymore. I mean, you get these kids. I mean, again, I go back to Roy McIlroy. Came up, played at a very, very young age, and folks said, hey, he's going to be a phenom. But we didn't see him, time and time again and follow his career. Now, over here at least, now they may have done it, over in Northern Ireland and that, but we didn't get a chance to see him over here. That's the same thing, with Jason Day, Bubba Watson, all those guys. We didn't get to grow up with them, so to speak. And that's where Tiger moves the needle a little bit about that. Plus, before him, how many courses were Tiger proofed?
You're right. They completely changed Augusta National. Jack Nicklaus.
And there and several other courses.
There was I think it was his second Masters, one where he went by like 400 strokes, where Jack Nicklaus predicted that the way Augusta was before they Tiger proofed it, Jack Nicklaus predicted he would win 10 Masters because his game was perfectly suited to Augusta National. Augusta National suited really nicely to Phil's game too.
Oh yeah.
So that those two guys are always going to do well there. Having lived in Augusta and lived in Monterey, on the Monterey Peninsula, where they have a big golf tournament at Pebble Beach out there, I was fortunate enough to be there the year that Tiger played in the Pebble Beach National Pro-Am in February, because the U.S. Open was going to be there in June. And it's amazing when you go to Pebble Beach, when Tiger's playing, if you stay away from Tiger, it's like you can really watch golf because there's no crowd. It's like a big amoeba You know, just they even had a commercial on ESPN. This is Sportsman commercial where Tiger's walking through the studio. And there's like 4,000 people following every step of the way. That's the same way. That's the same way it was. And we got VIP passes because my commandant out there got VIP passes to the tournament, but he hated golf, so he passed them out to 4 different people. My son, of course, Scotty was probably 6 or 7 at the time. One that really wanted to see Tiger. So I had played. He was on Spyglass that day, and I had played Spyglass enough times that I knew how to maneuver around. So we basically watched Tiger every other hole. We watch him play one hole, then we like skip from 1 to 3 and get a good spot at 3 and watch him play that hole, then go to 5. But he was phenomenal. You know, I wrote an article in Sport Digest last year, and one of the readers went batty arguing with me, which is cool. That's what the blog's all about, is to start discussion. But the one thing I said was, I understand how you can make a good case for Jack Nicklaus being the greatest golfer ever because he won more majors than Tiger, but I can also understand how someone can make the case for Tiger being the greatest golfer ever because he won more tournaments than Jack, and he won more tournaments against better competition and in fewer years. I said, but the one thing, people of my age, we were fortunate enough to be able to watch Jack and Tiger in their prime. The one thing I said that upset this guy was, I think Tiger at his best was better than Jack at his best, and I think Jack Nicklaus has even said that. And you know, and again, it's equipment too.
Yeah, big time equipment.
With Dr. Ramsey and I were talking about this yesterday. I was a really good golfer when I was 30, and I was just an average golfer when I was 50. But I hit the ball further when I was 50 than I did when I was 30. But it's all technology.
Sure.
You know, you look down at your driver nowadays, and it looks like a shoebox under the end of your stick. I was looking for something in my closet.
Still got to hit the sweet spot though.
That's right. That's 7 sweet spots about that. Yeah. I was looking in my closet. I found my original tailor-made Pittsburgh Persimmon driver, and it's small. The head is smaller than my current 5-wood.
Oh yeah,
which is amazing. Well, the next big tournament in golf is the PGA Championship, and that comes up in a couple of weeks. And
well, I think another kind of unique thing that's happened in golf this year that they emphasized Sunday after the tournament is that if you look at it throughout the course of the year and all the various different tournaments, and this is the first year we've had 21 different winners at a variety of different tournaments in that, and it's really not happened in a long time. So that just goes to show you that we're getting, you know, more parity. Well, I shouldn't say more parity, but if it sustains itself and you have more winners over the course of the next several years, now I think you can say that there's a little bit more parity. But it just goes to show you that some of the up and coming people that are on the golf scene now are being able to get out there and win some of these tournaments that are not a part of the big major ones in that. And that's what's unique about it. So you also have, you know, a lot of second tier tournaments where a lot of people are playing and they're being able to hone their skills. So by the time they get up on the next level, the top level, you know, they're there. I mean, so
yeah,
we didn't have that too many years ago.
Some kid I never heard of shot a 59 in one of the 7-year tournaments a couple weeks ago.
Yeah, you're right.
Shot a 59. Do you play golf left-handed?
No, sir.
Play right-handed? Phil plays left-handed because he used to stand on the driving range and mirror his dad's swing. He does everything else right-handed.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah.
Well, when I was growing up, I mean, I swing back left hand.
You couldn't get good golf
You
clubs.
couldn't get good golf clubs, so my dad said, "You will have to figure it out." So I got right-handed golf clubs.
Well,
And now it feels like I don't know. If you get on the left side of the ball with the left glove, it just feels weird.
We got your strong arm pulling. So yeah. Anyway, the United States Sports Academy would like to add our congratulations to the rest of the world to Henrik Stenson for shooting one of the great rounds of golf that we've ever seen, and probably anybody else has ever seen. We look forward to the next tournament being the PGA. The one thing I wanted to add wasn't it nice to not have the USGA completely and totally screw up the end of the tournament like they did the men's U.S. Open and the women's U.S. Open? I'm thinking, how's it? how's the USGA gonna screw this up? And then I remembered what the USGA has nothing to do with the Open Championship. We used to, when I was a kid, it was the British Open.
Yeah.
Now it's just the Open.
Yeah.
Anyway,
Like the Ohio State University.
anyway.
The U.
The congratulations, Henrik Stenson. Congratulations, Phil Mickelson too. It was a great show. If Mickelson would have shot 74, Stenson may still shot 63, but it wouldn't have been nearly as exciting.
No.
So
Congratulations to the big Irish golfer with the big heavy beard and that guy put on a show. They showed him showed up in his suit on Sunday. It was beautiful.
Johnston. Eh?
Yeah, Johnston. Yeah.
Yeah, he was pretty funny. Anyway, we'll look forward to the PGA Championship. I want to clear up one thing I said last week. I actually was. I said I thought Dick Enberg won our award 2 years ago. He actually won it in 2013, the media award. Mitch Albin won it in 2014, and the lady from USA Today.
Christine Brennan.
No.
Nancy.
Oh,
Yeah, Nancy won it last year. And it was just announced today. As a matter of fact, the new winner, but I probably shouldn't say it because we'll let the president of Americans make the official announcement. But I saw it today, and it was a good choice. Anyway, we hope everybody enjoyed the U.S. Open, the Open Championship from Royal Troon in Scotland as much as we did, and we look forward to the PGA Championship. And in the next couple of weeks, either next week or the week after that, we will do our Olympic preview show. Hopefully, Usain Bolt's hamstring will be healed by the time they get to Rio, and
okay.
We'll see if there's any Russians there.
Mr. Gatlin's ready to challenge somebody.
Yeah, if Mr. Bolt is healthy, Mr. Gatlin's ready to compete for that silver medal. We'll see you
Never know.
We'll see you next week at 11:30 a.m. Central Time from the campus of the United States Sports Academy. We hope everybody has a great week in sports.